welcome to my first video. I'm gonna apologize in advance. English isn't my first language. I thought I'd make a run-through of the Swedish infantry platoon using the brilliant Swedish forces pack for Arma 3. I've noticed that there's a bit of a stuttering using my recording. This is actually my very first attempt. Anyway, the infantry platoon contains of 3 rifle squads and 1 recoilless rifle squad and a small platoon command. So let's start with the platoon command. We got a platoon leader and an assistant platoon leader, and then you got 2 drivers for the BV-206 out in the back. The platoon has access to a couple of support weapons. There are 2 machine guns to divide amongst the platoon, and also a marksman scope for the AK-4. In this platoon, platoon leader is chosen to keep his marksman at the platoon command level to be able to manage him more directly. Let's have a look at a rifle squad. 8 men in total. In this case, there's 1 machine gun in first squad, 1 machine gun in second squad, and none left for the third squad. Gear is pretty basic. AK-4s. We got some light anti-tank weapons in the back. The Miniman. There were 24 of those available for the platoon as a whole. You could of course resupply. Second squad is identical to first squad. Third squad identical, except there's no machine gunner. The squad could be divided up into 2 fire teams, so you have 1 squad leader and 1 assistant squad leader or fire team leader. The 4th squad is the recoilless rifle squad. In this case I've armed them all with the Swedish KSMG. This is due to some reading I've done saying that if the rifle squads had the AK-4, everyone else basically had the submachine gun. This is probably a truth with modification due to how the Swedish system works. If you get more AK-4s from somewhere, you buy them, you make them, you disband the unit, or for instance in the late 80s when we re-equipped with AK-5s, the 5.56 assault rifles, you would get a lot of AK-4s left over. Why not just re-equip these guys with AK-4s instead? These SMGs won't be melted down either, they will be discarded into another unit. Anyway, recoilless rifle, 8 men in the squad, squad leader, assistant squad leader, 2 Carl Gustav recoilless rifle, and well, 4 loaders in total. Keep this up and running. Organic transport for the platoon is the BV-206 out in the back, and the platoon transport also often included 2 TGB-20s to be able to carry all of these. However, they're not organic to the platoon. These belong to a transport company who got their drivers inside there ready to leave or stay with the vehicles as these continue into the fray. So the 206 is there to keep all the platoon supplies, mines, mine clearing devices, tents, whatnot. This belongs to the platoon. Also used as a medevac, so you can bring this further into the line of battle. Oh right, one of the BV drivers in the platoon headquarters. As I said, in this platoon, one is the designated marksman. In the 80s, one of them was trained as a platoon medic. And that's it for the IB-77 rifle platoon. The IB-66, colloquially known as bicycle infantry, though it's not entirely correct. Got a tiny bike. This is due to the fact that when they first created, they all rode on bicycles towed by tractors. Later on, as the IB-77 came up, this was deemed a bit too unmodern, since they got flashy trucks. The IB-66 brigades re-equipped. Their tractors received carriages more or less the same as the what do you call it, crew compartment on the TGB-20. And they also received BV-202s, one BV-202 per platoon, I believe. The platoon is more or less the same. The only difference is that the platoon headquarters is one man stronger. He's the platoon runner. This also shows the difference that is up to the platoon commander to enforce. The machine guns and the marksman scope are platoon assets to be divided by the platoon leader, as I said. In this platoon, there aren't any marksman scope found in the platoon headquarters. Instead, this platoon has rearranged itself. First squad, is a support squad. So we found both machine guns here. Also got the marksman scope. This means that second and third squad are simply riflemen. Battle rifles all around. Fourth squad is the Recoilless rifle squad. It's identical. So the platoon in itself, identical to the IB-77, only difference one extra runner. SMGs more or less the same, I suppose. The order of battle doesn't give the personal firearms of the soldiers. It just says that you need X amount of riflemen, you need a platoon leader, you need a machine gunner. No, not even a machine gunner, you need a machine gun. This means that when you re-equip to the AK-5 assault rifles, for instance, the order of battle doesn't change. However, the equipment lists do, and this is due to the fact that in times of mobilization, these guys wouldn't be soldiers. Well, platoon leader might be a professional, but most of these guys would be dentists, bakers, whatnot, living happy civilian life. Then they would go out into the woods during mobilization, into some sort of barn, pick up a bag with everything they need for their role. They might be trained during their mandatory service to fight with an AK-4 or AK-5, but when they mobilize they find an SMG, or in worst case an old Mauser rifle. This means that when you re-equip, as I said earlier, we give those guys AK-5s. We got plenty of AK-4s left. Let's re-equip the Recoilless rifle squad and platoon headquarters with AK-4s. These SMGs go into storage, meaning some lucky bastard doesn't need to find a Mauser rifle, but he actually gets a submachine gun. Good for him. The final type of rifle platoon is the one that's actually a bit different. This is the Norrland platoon, or Arctic platoon, you could call it. Arctic infantry. 2 over snow vehicles, BV-206s, and this means a bit of a change for platoon organization. As you can see, it's a lot smaller. Platoon headquarters is more or less the same. The thing here is that the order of battle actually says that one of the BV drivers is the designated marksman. I don't think there's a law preventing the platoon leader from actually giving someone else the marksman scope should he have become nearsighted since the last drill or something like that. So there's 2 rifle squads and 2 machine guns still, and then there's a recoilless rifle squad. During battle, or during the in the order of battle, I should say, the recoilless rifle squad is broken down into 2 fire teams, with one of these fire teams hanging out with first squad and the second fire team with second squad. And these 2 halves, the recoilless rifle team and the rifle squad, form a troop. Mount up in the BV-206 and off you go. Well, this is it for my first recording, I believe. I know I shouldn't be running too much in Arma since, well, lag. Anyway, I've got more of a company over there to look at should you want to. Any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try and answer. And thank you for watching.